Hey guys, I'm finally doing a video overview of the bullpup I've designed that you might be able to put your supercore in. So when I heard the supercores were coming out, I wanted to design my own blaster to be as effective and just awesome as I could. So I started with a bullpup because we have a sealed breech system essentially. It actually makes sense to have a bullpup, and I can have a supercore blaster in as short a package as possible. I don't really know if you see, but I have a long strike here. You can kind of see the difference. That's not so helpful because the long strikes are really long anyways. But this is noticeably shorter. It's essentially the same length as if you just had a Strife with a worker stock on or something like that. So yeah, I'll just go over the features. This blaster, first of all, uses a solenoid valve for fire, which means you can have a nice clicky trigger with an ergonomic handle because the solenoid valve's back here. And that also will allow you to have more consistent shots, I think, because with a MJ-V03, depending on how slowly or quickly you pull the valve, you'll get different power of shot just because of how quickly the air goes through the system. So with a solenoid powered valve, you should hopefully have more consistency of your shots. And then also that requires a 12-volt LiPo to power the solenoid valve, but they're really low power, so all you need is a very tiny one, and that is within the handle here. If I turn it around, this slides out, like that. Has a little magnet to keep it in, as well as some rails, and I've just got a little teeny LiPo in here. And like I say, this thing will last days and days of games before running out because the solenoid just doesn't take much power at all. So then you slide that back in. Oh. Sorry, the wire's got in the way. There you go. That's good to go. So moving back, you have a mag release. I was able to get in here for a bullpup, which you just bring yourself back like this to hit it. And I've managed to get gravity drop. The nub that's in here that catches the magazine, I've actually got two nubs, and I have a piece here. So basically, depending on which way around you insert it, I just blocked it, you have one that's very sharp and one that's more rounded. So the sharp one, you won't be able to tug the mag out at all, but the round one, it will still work as a mag release, but if you instead prefer just to yank it, then you can do that as well. So we've got that, we've got a jam door in there you can flick open in case you want to see what's going on. I'd always be really careful though, obviously, because you don't want to put your fingers anywhere in there while HPA is connected to the blaster, because that could be quite dangerous. But that's there. Love gravity drop. And then also point here for your sling. It's pretty strong. I've used this in quite a few games now and I've not had issues with it. Oh yeah, and also I've got serialized numbers, so I obviously get 001, but you guys can get all the others. I've done 3 already, so I guess the next order would be 004. The next big thing about this is that this barrel shroud, essentially, it just slides on like this. Sorry, one second. Sorry. This is the first one I made, and so I've adjusted the files now, and it's a lot easier to get that on and off. But yeah, essentially, this shape just slides in, and so you can slide that out and put on a different barrel shroud if you want. So I worked with my good friend Jackrabbit Nerfer, who's made the Lepus Uzi blaster, and integrated that into another barrel shroud, so you can slide that on instead. Sorry. Oh. Had a different barrel in there. So that slides through. Put that one on. Oh, I won't show it all the way right now. But yeah, you can put your 2 screws in the front to lock that in. And now you literally have an HPA semi-automatic sniper up top with a Uzi at the front that can just rapid fire. And that's quite handy as well if you're in the games where, say if you go inside buildings, you have to have a lower FPS cap. or if you get too close to people, you have to have a low FPS blaster. Instead of having to pull a sidearm, you literally have everything just in one go. And in case you don't know what the Lepus is, then I'll just give you a little firing demonstration. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, but maybe you want to have a lower powered blaster with a shorter barrel if you're doing some sort of CQB thing. And the great thing about HPA is you can just turn down the pressure. And then you can also use a smaller barrel. And so I've designed something like this, which I just sort of put in front. So you can see that would be a heck of a lot shorter, and you turn down your PSI. So basically with this blaster you have lots of options. And if you want, I can do a custom logo for you in the handle. Yeah, so got the normal shroud back on. I'm going to keep designing other shrouds. I think one that maybe takes a rival mag is in development at the moment. But also, I'm going to make the barrel shroud dimensions and everything open source. So if you want, you can create your completely custom shroud, essentially. And I'll still basically be making and selling these kind of back ends, well, and the shroud as well. But you can just order the back end if you have your own custom shroud that you want. So yeah, a lot of customization with this. It's awesome Supercore blaster that will be really effective. I just want to let you know that this is an option since Liam is kind of getting towards finishing another batch run of the Supercores. Now let's see a firing demo.